do something to back up those 2 strikes she's got in the opening frames 1 and 2. Rolled 7 strikes in the first game for a 244, and Poplar was only 3 strikes, so that was the difference.
4 straight strikes to start with, but she's gone straight through the head pin this time. Left herself 4 to get.
Well, you can see how much the ball is hooking on that right-hand lane, just the 38 feet of oil, and she was just inside her mark, so the ball broke very early and went right through the head pin. Leaves the 3, 6, 9 and 10. Again, it's a makeable spare, but I would have thought on this lane, strikes are the things that will be prominent with more back end.
It's the first time she's left herself more than 2 pins in the final. Oh, and it's broke too early, and it is an open frame for Van der Meer, straight off the back of Purper, so she hasn't really hammered home that advantage of the open frame.
No, it certainly hasn't. Dropped the speed down a little bit, and of course the lane is drier in that back end, and the ball started to hook. These players have to probably change their setup a little bit, possibly change the bowling ball they're using, as this there's a lot more back end on this lane. Maybe go to a slightly harder surface ball to prevent too much hook.
She's been led off the hook, and she responds with a strike. Finally, she sets her sight right, Purpler.
Well, yeah, 2 strikes out of 3 frames, that's a much better shot. Kept the pace up. Needs to hold that ball down the lane before it gets to the break point, and still have the speed on it just to hold pocket. Carry all 10, hopefully.
Purpler needs to win this game, remember, to take it to a decider.
Yeah, it's not on pins fallen, it's games won. Best of 3.
So can Van der Meer get back on the strike trail? Yes, she can. Terrific shot.
It really was, actually. She's really trusting it outside on the right-hand side of that lane. Really sort of flirted with the channel on that one. I think she felt a bit surprised herself that the ball actually came back that far.
It hung out there for an awfully long time, didn't it? Even took a peek at the gutter, I think.
Yeah, I think she was trying to sort of will it to get up to the pocket, and well, it did, and it carried all 10.
3 strikes from the opening 4, 1 open frame in frame 3 for Van der Meer, but it's very consistent. And Purpler responds. Well, she's left the 10.
Well, it was a pretty good looking shot, just the angle that prevented that 10 pin going. As the 6 pin went round, it didn't touch it at all. And you can see it just touched it and wobbled it, didn't it? It wouldn't go.
Wasn't too far away from being bang in the pocket, but that's the small margins that can make all the difference.
Yeah, Poplar's already got a couple of silver medals in the one in the team event and one in the trios event. So I say she's averaged 216 for her 24 games in the tournament. And that's a good-looking spare in frame number 4.
No mistake on the single pin this time. We saw those missed twice in the space of 3 frames. And at this level of bowling, that was quite extraordinary in game 1, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Frame 5.
Well, it's Van der Meer working on a strike, looking for her second double to try and cover some of the damage at that open frame. Just a fraction light. Didn't come up, did it? She's very much playing the right line. It's just a matter of getting that speed correct. She's left the 2 and the 8 pin sleeper. 1 pin right behind the other. Words of encouragement from the national coach. Probably the biggest tournament that the 26-year-old has ever bowled in. A Masters final. And she makes a great spare.
Every time they all drop. Giant roar from the Dutch supporters.
Yeah, just maintaining her small advantage, but it really is a good spare under pressure.
Birgit Purpler, very much the villain of the piece, as far as the Dutch fans are concerned.
Well, she should be the top girl, really, because she's just shot 258 and 259 in the semi-final against Jolene Planfors, the Swedish number 2.
That's a great shot.
It was a much better looking shot, yes.
Third strike, just hasn't managed to put any doubles together, though. It's kind of alternate striking at the moment from Purpler. 3 from 5.
Yeah, she too has that open frame. So there's work to be done. Sophie now trying to back up a spare, and that's gone really wide. That's almost dropped in the channel, isn't it? Crikey. And what a spares that's going to be. That's the 1, 2, 4 with the 6 and the 10 on the right-hand side. It's gone right through the 1 and the 6 pin.
Yeah, she's been dicing with that a bit, hasn't she? And I think in the end she was grateful to get anything, as you say.
I think she totally lost it off her hand, and it just sailed out to the outside board. And there was just not enough friction there to bring that one back.
So she's got to work cut out here to avoid a second open frame. And this could be the frame that costs her.
Well, she's lost pins because she's only taken 5 working on a spare. And this is, if this is an open, and it is, it's second open. She's had a 6 and a 3 and a 5 and a 3. Open frames, and we're only in frame 6.
Now can Purpler double up for the first time in this game, and for only the second time in the final. That seems an extraordinary statistic. But with just 3 strikes in game 1, 3 from the opening 5 here. Well, she needs a double.
The important thing, is if she actually gets this double, she takes the lead.
And she does get it.
It really is a great looking shot, yeah. Brings the ball, hooks it right to left, right up from the outside of the lane, makes the pocket and carries all 10, hits 2 strikes in a row. 3 frames 5 and 6. There's quite a lot of effort into getting in some rotation on the ball, and but it pays dividends when she hits the pocket.
Could that be the turning point? Frame 6 of game 2. Vandermeer under pressure for the first time. Such a comfortable win in game 1. This will be a real test for her now. And that's better. Found the pocket that time. Responds to the open frame with a strike.
Certainly was a good shot. She looks quite pleased. Unfortunately, she's got the 2 open frames that have caused so much damage. The score would have looked a lot better had they just been spares. 4 strikes so far.
Purpler remaining focused. That's the advantage, but no margin for error. Looking for 3 in a row for the first time in the final. Be a good time for her to find some form, and she gets it.
She definitely prefers this short oiled lane. 38 feet, she's getting great reaction in the back end. High backswing, nice follow through. The rotation of that ball is just fantastic. Brings it up through the dry area in the back end. Carries all 10. 3 strikes in a row, first turkey of the game. Vandermeer has to respond.
And she does.
Great looking shot. It's 2 strikes in a row, and her friends and family and fans, she's getting quite excited here. Lays it onto the lane nicely. Carries all 10. Nobody looked more surprised than she did.
Purpler with this frame in hand. Couldn't, if in her wildest dreams, Sophie Vandermeer imagine being in the final, let alone in front. And a fantastic performance from her. But that's more like it from Purpler. 4 in a row now.
Certainly showing some of the form that she's played with this week. As I say, a couple of silver medals already, and in the semi-final defeated the one of the top Swedish players with a 258 and a 259 game. Just hasn't quite brought it to the final yet, but she started going. Sophie Vandermeer also shoots another strike, gives her 3 strikes in a row. So it's pretty tight all round. Just the 1 pin difference coming into the foundation frame.
Purpler strikes out though, there's nothing Vandermeer can do. Taking her time. She knows she can't Can't afford to give anything away here if she wants to take it into the deciding game. Can she make it 5 in a row? No, she can't.
Well, crosses the head pin, takes the ball higher on that head pin. Almost goes for the Brooklyn strike, but leaves a single pin standing. It's a solitary 6-pin. Now, she's had a bit of trouble with single pins. A couple missed in game number 1. Just hard and straight, not too much hook.
Oh, goodness,
she obviously didn't listen, and that's a single pin miss, and that's may well cost her the game. And the German fans in the crowd just can't believe it, and I don't think she can either.
I mean, is that purely nerves? 3 times she's done that.
It's just crazy. I mean, just so much rotation on this ball, on a lane that's got short oil. And she almost falls over. So it's a chance for Sophie van der Meer to strike in the first frame of the 10th frame, first ball 10th frame. Maybe take this game.
Oh, no, again. Trying far too early, straight through the head pin. Leaves 3.
Yeah, the one time she needed to get a strike to make 4 in a row, she's missed out as well.
It's becoming a frame that neither want to win at the moment. 2 open frames each.
Yeah, well, Sophie's lost pins there with 7. Working on 3 strikes. And she takes the spare, but she's got one more shot now. 10th frame. Next score 194. Just taking her time and concentrating. Really must get 10 pins here to put any sort of pressure back on the German girl.
Really can hear a pin drop. She hopes 10 pin drop. And they do.
Well, yeah, she takes 10, looks quite excited, but it's not the best score in the world, 194. The German girl can certainly go past that. Make 20 pins in the last frame, and she'll be through the 200 barrier.
Yeah, a strike with this ball would certainly ease the pressure on Purpler.
Well, striking away will actually win it, because she'll have another 2 shots afterwards. A spare and 1, or a strike, and she's got this game 1, and we'll take it through to game number 3 to decide.
And she does get a strike. Fabulous shot.
Yeah, that is a great looking shot. She's really utilised that right hand side of this shorter oiled lane. Great reaction in the back end. And this is the game winner right in the pocket. Carries all 10. And yes, she's still in this final.
Now anything will do. We are going to a 3rd game.
Yeah, it takes 7 and spare this one. She's going to be 203, which is good enough. As I say, it's not on pin count or pin fall. It's on games 1, so it's going to be 1 each.
So it takes them away. 203, 194. Game 3 to come after the break.
You are. To find out more, go to Eurosportplayer.com.
So the European Women's Bowling Championships 2012, Game 3 of the Masters Final here at the Effling Theatre. 1 each after Birgit Purpler levelled up with victory in game 2, and she's left a spare in frame 1 of the decider.
Yes, when we're back on the left-hand lane, 44 feet of oil.